Welcome back. Jury deliberations are underway for the second day in former President Donald Trump's New York criminal trial. Trump's attorney says the prosecution's case has, quote, more holes than Swiss cheese.
Well, there are many grounds for appeal. I'd also note there are many, many grounds for acquittal. There are giant holes in the prosecution's case, which I think Todd Blanche did a masterful job of really revealing during his summation the other day. I don't think the prosecution has come close to proving that President Trump did anything wrong, certainly not that he committed any business records fraud. If there were to be a conviction, we would appeal as quickly as possible. We would attempt to fast track that within the bounds of New York appellate procedure. But in the meantime, we think there are ample grounds for the jury to acquit, and we're still certainly hopeful that that's the outcome here.
All right, well, joining us now, former Attorney General Pam Bondi. Pam, it's great to have you on the show. Want to ask you what you think is happening with the jury right now. Some deliberating, some asking to hear David Pecker's testimony over again. Obviously, there wasn't some sort of a quick consensus for them to come forward with. This means that they're really having to talk through it and parse it out. But can we draw any conclusions from that?
Well, sure. And you have 34 felony counts. They wanted to hear David Pecker's testimony, which actually greatly benefits President Trump because David Pecker said he didn't pay for stories. You have Michael Cohen's testimony, and they also wanted to hear a large chunk of the jury instructions again. And, you know, even with two lawyers on that jury, those jury instructions are convoluted and confusing for lawyers. I've never seen a case like this written that way, the jury instructions, in my career. I don't think any attorney has. And if they have, I doubt it would have ever been upheld on appeal, where they can find that Donald Trump, not unanimously, and of course this is a criminal case, the highest burden there is, that some can believe he committed tax fraud, some can believe he committed election fraud. Don't have to be unanimous, don't even have to state what crime they think he committed, which one, and then they find him guilty of a felony. So it's really off base from anything that's usual in the criminal justice system. So sure, I'm sure they're struggling. Again, even the two lawyers on the jury, I'm certain, are struggling.
What's the impact on businesses here in New York who are watching this case?
Well, my goodness, you know, look, if they can do this to Donald Trump 8 years later, a potential misdemeanor, and then they tack it on to these federal felonies and turn it into a state felony, unprecedented. I think it's going to scare a lot of businesses to death that if they can do this to him, they can do this to anyone. And, you know, also from a practical standpoint, look at the crime in the city now. You know, I was up there last week. Crime is through the roof. And I was in that courtroom. I think half of NYPD was outside that courtroom, not by choice, having to protect that courtroom, having to block off the streets, all the court personnel. Young prosecutors were sitting all over that courtroom watching it instead of being out there prosecuting the violent crime, protecting the subways in New York, and going after all the criminals. So it's really a sad state right now.
Pam, one of the main features of the story with this trial and the previous trial on the real estate was the role of progressive judges, seeming like they're really putting their thumb on the scale of justice. President Biden just talked about those kinds of judges. Listen to what he had to say.
The next president, they're going to be able to appoint a couple justices, and I'll be damned if they're not going to have it. Look, if in fact we're able to change some of the justices when they retire and put in really progressive judges like we've always had, tell me that won't change your life when Trump justices are already gutting voting rights, overturning Roe, decimating affirmative action, and so much more. We're going to let that happen?
So when it comes to these progressive judges, apparently he's just getting started. Your reaction to that?
Wow. Progressive judges and progressive prosecutors, they equal people who are not tough on crime, on violent crime, who do not prosecute crime in our country. That should frighten every American right now in this country. I had not heard that clip, and I can't believe he even had the nerve to say that out loud, to use the word progressive. Right. You know, judges at all levels should be neutral arbiters of the facts. Wow.
Attorney General Pam Bondi, thank you so much for being here. We so appreciate it.
Thank you.